We're here in the Knesset as the Knesset is returning to work. Shalom to Knesset member Yitzhak Pindrus of Yadut Torah.
Shalom.
So what are your goals for this session of the Knesset? First of all, to topple the government? Is it the first goal?
Our first goal is to show I would say the how controversial and the differences between the eight prime ministers and parties that are taking part in this government, and showing how funny it is. Okay, we saw it at the Chag, right? Our prime minister going to the UN and speaking about officers in the health ministry, what he thinks about them. Okay, and showing that he really no real message to the world, really no real message, because they don't have a real message. Eight parties that could not agree on anything but on one subject. Netanyahu should be prime minister, but anything else they can't agree on. And that's something that we have to rise up, show the differences between the parties. Hopefully that'll weaken, I would say, the stable how long the government could stay.
Is there a total rift between coalition and opposition? Or do you find yourself working, cooperating even with parts of the coalition and parts of the government?
There's cooperations, I would say, on professional issues and issues of environment, housing. There is things that, of course, with because, again, the differences between the eight parties, of course, certain issues that you could find in common with some of the parties, and we try to do it in the committees. And even when not being members in those committees, but yes, there is things that we could do together. But in general, I could tell you, it's a government it's very obvious now that there's no real issue that we, right or religious parties, couldn't agree on.
Now we know that in the beginning, as the government was forming, Yamina, the party led by today Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, they tried to pressure you guys, the Haredim, the ultra-Orthodox, to join this government. Are the pressures continuing, first of all?
I think it's very obvious today why. Could be they want, could be they're dreaming on it, but I think it's very obvious why we can't be part. We're seeing the things that they're pushing for. Okay, we'll take the nursing homes, we'll take the things, the kindergartens, we'll take the kashrut issue. All these issues are issues that are pushed by Yamina against religion and state. There's no way that we could be part of a government like that, and no way that we could cooperate really on a real issue. And I'm not saying specific issues, but in general world with the government.
The Knesset is coming back to work. How's it in the opposition? Is it a different world, or?
It's interesting, but it leads you that you could do things that you're not tied with your hands to the back.
As you are in a coalition.
As you're in a coalition, things you don't agree on, you could say it very loudly. You don't have to be politically correct 24 hours, and everything the government says yes, and say, okay, Netanyahu is the king, and whatever he does is okay. No, you could say things that are not okay. You could just get up and say it. I find it a lot more interesting and a lot easier being in the opposition, and I would say even more than that. When you're in the coalition, what you take the slice the cake and you say, this is your part, don't interrupt my part. Today, we could deal with all issues, and we could speak to all government offices a lot easier than we were in the coalition.
Very interesting. Knesset member Yitzhak Pindrus, Yadut Torah. Thank you very much and good luck.